how much I imparted to them. I think they impart things to me, actually. I think that luckily there are really great beings still coming to this planet, who are beings who are, I think in each generation there's kind of room for beings who are better than the old beings. And I think the old beings, actually some of them unfortunately get all negative about that. And they like into how there must be something wrong with the new beings, and they don't really care about them. Actually, if you look at, there's so many countries that are having authority crises now, where the old timers, the people with power, are freaking out and trying to turn the clock back, and like get back into some sort of medieval situation. In America, that's, you know, the huge fundamentalist movement is doing that, because I think they're afraid of their own children. Actually, they're afraid of their women, and they're afraid of their children. And they're unwilling to admit that their children might be more visionary, better, more developed, more far out than they are. And so they're like citing some old ancient rule and law, some dogmas from some old supposed sacred text written down by some funky old fogies a long time ago. And they're like trying to crush down. You know, like Iran, I think something like 60% of the population is under 25. In Iraq, we killed so many now, but a lot of people there were young. You know, the older people are less, and so the whole world is kind of like that. There's this huge amount of youth in the world, and I think they're all smarter than the older people actually, and they're brought up in a better and more open way, even in the craziness of it all. You know, and so the older ones are still clinging to, like, we're still knights in armor, or we're World War II warriors, or we're powerful people, or something like that, rather than recognizing the sort of common humanity of themselves and all the other people. I think the young people are moving against that in a certain way, younger people. And I think we have to, you know, we have to hope that they will move more strongly soon enough to reverse the destruction that has taken place. How do I look at Uma? Well, I'm a big fan of Uma. I think she's wonderful. I think that the industry she's in doesn't take proper advantage of her. They don't really realize how remarkable she is. She's had a few things done for her that fit her in a certain way, and they've been tremendous successes. But often she's asked to squeeze into something that is really less than her subtlety and her intelligence and her brilliance. I remember, I think an Anthony Lane review of Henry and June long back, where he said that she was like Dietrich, that when she appeared on the screen, she brought a jolt to the screen, or that's a wonderful term like that. And that is, I think, the case. That comes from her own, we call it karma, her evolutionary background. She's an amazing being in her own right. And it's just she's often put in roles that are really not up to her, and she needs more things specially designed for her. You know, Quentin did a couple of good things, but other people should really do that and realize that. But in a way, she's not the conventional sort of, you know, Miss American be good or something like that. She's complicated, you know, like Garbo was or something. She's like Garbo was never used properly until some director fell in love with her and started making movies especially for her. And there are these extraordinary beings who are vehicles like that, you know, who have a special, convey a special sensibility to the world, I think, you know, just by being this themselves, irrelevant to what they do. And then they use all the great dramatic model, you know, the great dramatic vehicles to do that, and new ones can be created, you know. So anyway, I'm a frustrated screenwriter myself. I'd like to write things for her, but then she just, oh, Daddy, come on, you're not in the business, and brushes me off, you know.